What's going on, everyone? Brian from Big Kahuna Gaming here. Super excited to share this D-Brigade deck profile with you guys. This is the list I took to a 3-1 finish at last week's store championship. My only loss being to the guy who ended up winning the tournament, so shout out to him. He got his invite. Super excited for him. And now I just got to find my invite somewhere else. But let me show you the list to see what I ran with. So, obviously it's D-Brigade, so we're going to start off with the eggs, being 4 Pagumon. I think Pagumon's probably the best generic black egg right now. The on-deletion of being able to reveal the top card and add it to your hand if it's a black Digimon, otherwise putting it to the bottom. Super powerful. It creates this card advantage that Rookie Rush type decks don't really have because there's not a lot of Digivolving going on, so we miss out on all that natural card draw. So anything that helps boost the amount of card advantage I can get is a plus. Honestly, I thought about the 5th egg, but some of the inspirations from this deck came from Mario's Gaming World. His D-Brigade deck profile, really liked it, took some parts of it that I liked, and adapted it to my playstyle. And one of them was being the 4 eggs, and I really liked it, so I wanted to give it a shot. And the only time I ever ran out of eggs in that tournament was once, actually, oddly enough, against the Mirror. I'll get to my breakdown later. But yeah, other than that, Pagumon, only 4, I love it. Let's go into the meat and potatoes of the deck, the rookies. This may come as a surprise to literally nobody, but we are playing 16 Commandramon. I know, it's a surprise to literally nobody. 16 Commandramon, you play all of them because of this guy right here, the BT4 rare. On deletion, reveal the top 3. If there's Commandramon among those 3, you just get to play it without paying for it. Rest go to the bottom. Fantastic. It keeps the aggression going, so if they ever pop this guy, you have a good chance of going into another one. That's why you play all 16 of them. Obviously, we're going to get a 5th one in EX03, so there's a chance that there might be 20 Commandramon in the next profile for EX03. Who knows? Maybe at least a few more, but this guy's fantastic, and these guys all serve their purposes. The 2-drop's really good at choking in this meta, because there aren't as many memory tamers as there used to be. So being able to choke them is fantastic. Everyone's playing Cool Boy and such, so they try to choke us to 1. We choke them right back with Commandramon. The 5K is really good at being aggressive. There are some of them in some matchups you can actually crash over their champions, and it's just really good. It forces them to deal with your guy. Obviously, the blocker is really good to spin into. If you float into the blocker on their turn, they now have to deal with another Commandramon who's a blocker, who's keeping them from beating you. Sometimes that just gives you enough time to win the game. So 16 Commandramon, wouldn't do any less. Anyone who suggests any less than 16 is, you know, with all due respect, wrong. let's just be honest here. Like, that's wrong. For the non-D-Brigade rookies, we've got 4 Chikuri, 3 Haguru. Haguru has been in the deck ever since EX01 came out. It is fantastic. It is an honorary D-Brigade in my heart. Being able to on-play pitch a cyborg or machine to draw to is insane. All the D-Brigades are cyborgs, so that synergy is amazing. And yeah, this is probably one of the reasons why the deck got so good. We'll get to another card from an EX set also helped the deck be really good, but this was the first one that, outside of actual D-Brigade support, that was like, oh, okay, this is giving the deck legs. So, love Hagurumon. The 4 Chikurimon, something else I borrowed from Mario's deck profile. I was back and forth on this effect until I realized how much protection Digimon have right now. They have protection from deletion effects, from combat, from DP reducing, from bouncing, all that stuff. The one thing that they don't have protection from is D-Digivolve. And because it's a Digimon, not an option, can't be ADP'd. There's the BT1 Wargreymon can't defend against it. It's not an on-play either, so it's not like Crimson Blaze is like an out-buy and all of a sudden, nope. Security effect, D-Digivolve, and it can really mess up a whole turn, and sometimes it can just win you the game on the spot. Even if it doesn't die, the Digimon is essentially useless because it doesn't have any extra effects or whatever happens, and it can just give you that opening to just steal the game. So, 4 Chikurimon, love it, and honestly, even if you draw some of them, it's fine, because he's a 1K you put on top of your Pagumon. It almost always is going to die in combat, and you get your Pagumon draw and you just keep it pushing. Like, there's no, like, you can't complain if it's in your hand. It's the same logic with like Zord Defeat and any other big security bomb. It's like, oh, it's in your hand. Well, yeah, you're playing 4 because you want to see him in security. So you just have to deal with the consequences. And I've drawn plenty of Chikurimons in those 4 rounds, and I had no complaints because for every time I drew them, I also had 1 or 2 in security, and it was well worth it. So that's the rookies. We're going to go into the champions. Champions is going to be super short and simple. 1 Seals, 2 Grumble. I tried this with Mario, with the same as Mario's list. I will say I did miss Seals Dramon quite a bit. The 1 came in pretty clutch. I would try to make room for a second one. I do agree that 4 is definitely not the way to go anymore, but I think I would make room for a second one because there were situations where I would have loved to have a 6K Digimon. There were situations where I would have loved to be able to choke by Digivolving. Situations like slamming Hagurumon, Digivolving a Seals Dramon. That came up once and it felt really good. So there's a world where I might want to make room for a second one, but the 1 wasn't so bad. I definitely don't think I needed 4. And Grumblemon, obviously Black Lobo. I won quite a few games with Grumblemon. It's fantastic. I am forever heartbroken that they refused to give Grumblemon a alt art, a full art card. Hashtag justice for Grumblemon, I guess. But yeah, no, card's great. Don't play less than 2. People who play 1 Grumblemon in their black decks, I just don't know what to do with you. I forgive you. I'll forgive you one day, but come on, guys. 1, just 1. What's going on here? Obviously, there are no level 5s, so we're just gonna go straight into the big boys of the deck. We are 4 Dartramon and 3 Death X while we're here. 4 Dartramon. If you've seen my D-Brigade deck profiles, you know that I'm a big advocate for 3 Dartramons. If I were to do this deck list over again, there's a world where this 4th Dartramon is the 2nd Seals Dramon. But there's also something else that could be switched over. The main reason I'm playing 4 now is because there are actually more ways for this to hit the trash. And that's either Hagurumon's discard, Pride Memory boosts, just flipping it over, and Kazu. We'll get to Kazu in a bit. So basically, there are more ways to dig through your deck. So I feel less bad if I open up with too many of these, because I know that at least they're D-Brigades that fuel other Dartramons. So if I open up with 2 Dartramons, I know, alright, cool, I can aggressively discard 1 or both of these. And as long as the other 2 aren't in my security, I know I can get to them. So basically, I'm treating the 4th Dartramon as just an extra discard target. That's going to take more testing to see whether or not that's actually worth it, and this could be better used somewhere else. But for now, I don't hate it. I'm finally giving it a shot after all these all these seasons, all these sets. It's like, all right, fine, we'll try the 4th one out. I didn't hate it. I liked pitching it. I think that I like pitching it more than I like playing it. I think obviously Dartramon gives you the win. It's the on-play rush with 13 cost to play, but you gain 2 memory for every D-Brigade in your trash that you put back to the top of your deck. So he's really a 3 cost to play. This is your every so often reminder that you need to have at least 13. You need to have at least 3 memory to play Dartramon, because if you play him from 2, you actually can't physically play him from less than 3, because the logic of, all right, well, I'll just go up 13 and then go back down and choke them to 1, it doesn't work that way. You actually can't put them past 10. So you need to be at least 3 for this guy. And obviously memory chokers are, you know, they're running around somewhere. You've got the Chumons and the Gazimons and the Modokis. They are doing their thing, but they're not as common right now. Like, you can kind of just pick and choose your moment. If you think people aren't playing them too much, you know, have fun. And if they are playing it, just got to deal with it. And then the biggest addition to the deck is Death Xmon, hands down. It's fantastic. I was able to play it against the mirror for like 5 or something. It was amazing. Death Xmon is insane. You can unplay it or digivolve it to de-digivolve 1, and then delete all of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon. So if for whatever reason they try to overextend, you can punish them greatly, because it has this awesome reduction ability of when you would play this card, reduce its memory by 3 for each Digimon and Tamer your opponent has in play. So if they get aggressive, they put out 2 or 3 Tamers and they get 2 or 3 guys. That's what, 6 permanents? and that's 18 minus. You can play this for 2. If they have 5 total things on the board, it costs 5. Slamming 5, passing it over to their turn at like 2 or 3, and then just wiping the board. It's disgusting. It just kind of wins you the game most times. Then it has the end of opponent's turn. So it's not your turn. It's actually once per opponent's turn. Delete all of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. Play cost, not level. Be mindful of that. I did kind of misplay in one of my games where I thought Death Exmon just cared about lowest level, and I omitted from playing more Digimon. It didn't cost me that game, but it's still something to keep in mind. So, and this deck is actually pretty awesome if you're facing a Death Exmon, and you know they didn't wipe your board too much because of the 1K Commandramon. So you know if they stick a Death Exmon against you, feel free to rebuild your board and end the turn with the 1-drop Commandramon, because it's gonna pop itself and then it's gonna build again. So it's just something to keep in mind of. Also, just go to Digivolve on top of Darkdramon in case you need to pass a turn. And to do that, I didn't do that. I mainly played it, and he's fantastic. That's why the updated list call it Dex Brigade, because he's such a powerful new card. I don't mind adjusting the name. But yeah, 3 of those. I wouldn't play 2 just because you want to see at least 1 per game, and if one's in your security, then you can't search it with any of your guys. You can flip it off Pagumon, but it's not super searchable in the deck. Alright, that's it for the Digimon. Let's go into the options. So we have 3 Pride Memory Boost, 2 Iron Fist, 4 Ultimates, and 2 Congos. So top to bottom, 4 Ultimate Flares. I think it's the best removal right now. I know there is a lot of stacks that double up on levels, so it's a bunch of double 3s, double 4s, double 5s. Honestly, even with all that, it's still insane. It still just gets rid of most of the threat, because if they don't have the pieces to go back up from it, it's as good as dead. And sometimes just Digivolving is enough to give you that extra turn or 2. Obviously, it also just pops all the 3 play cost or less. So if they ever start to have 1 stack and they start to build up searcher rookies, you can just Digivolve something and then pop the little guys, and that also can just set you ahead. Obviously 8 is a lot. You don't want to have to play it unless you have to, but between the Memory Tamer, the Kazus, and the boosts, sometimes you can just Ultimate Flare them and give them like 3, maybe 4 tops. So fantastic card. Playing 4, love it. Also in terms of removal, we're on 2 Iron Fist. It just hits highest play cost. It's really good against cards that aren't being Digivolved. Things in the Reaper matchup, like if you want to be able to hit their Gatekeeper, and this takes care of it pretty easily, because it's more often or not their highest play cost, unless they get the Reaper out there, and this pops the Reaper pretty well. Actually, fun note, Ultimate Flare does pop Reaper as well, because it Digivolves. It doesn't really care about what level they are, as long as you don't get them past level 3. Because they don't have levels, there's no worry about that. So Ultimate Flare is gonna Digivolve Reaper up to 3, and then it's gonna pop everything 3 play cost, which is the Searchers. So if they get a few hits in, and they hit an Ultimate Flare, that whatever stack that was gonna be, it's gone, plus all their other little guys. So keep that in mind. Even though there's level-based removal isn't really good against Reaper, Digivolving is pretty good. Iron Fist, though, being able to pop the biggest thing, also 8, just like Ultimate Flare. You just kind of got to deal with it, guys. Like it costs us a lot, but like I said, you do gain quite a bit of memory in this sometimes, so it's not as heavy, not as taxing on your memory as normally it would be. 3 Pride Memory Boosts. I really like this card. I wish there was space for a 4th. If I didn't want any Seals Dramon, I'd probably make this the 4th one. But it's fantastic. Being able to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, and then play a black Digimon with a play cost of 4 or less from among them without paying its cost, and then trashing the rest. So trashing the rest is the big thing that's really good for this deck, because if you reveal a bunch of D-Brigades, you get to pick one, first of all, because all your Commandramons are 4 or less. You get to play it, and this goes into the battle area, and you trash the other 2 cards. sometimes you are going to trash your removal. Sometimes you're going to trash your protection. Sometimes you're going to trash your Dark Tremons and stuff. It is what it is. But if you're fueling your deck or your trash with D-Brigades, you're getting yourself closer to the finish. So it's well worth the risk, and I think it's very powerful at 3. And then last option, 2 Congos. This card is fantastic. It's one of the cards I was most excited about when BT9 came out, because it's good protection. Also, it's good against aggressive mirrors. So if you know that their main attack is coming from 7 cost or less, just slamming Congo and going, well, what are you going to do now, is a great way to buy yourself a turn. If you have both, buying yourself 2 turns, and sometimes just needing 1 turn or 2 turns is enough to win you the game. So, super great addition to the deck. Wouldn't play less than 2. I don't think I'd play more, though, because it's not good in every matchup, right? The Alphamon deck, all the big stack decks, they get around Congo, because they don't really hybrid for game as much. They usually just do either Omni for game, or Alphamon and suspends itself to swing again, or Granite swings with it just itself. So it's not good against every list, but it can be good against decks that rely on hybrids, decks that rely on their aggressive ultimates and below. And yeah, that's it for the options. I think all these cards have a place. I think they're all fantastic. And last cards in the deck, guys, are too easy for Kazu. So Kazu is one of the other latest cards to come into the deck. The EX sets are really good for D-Brigade, apparently. They gave me Hagurumon, they gave me Kazu, now they're going to give me more D-Brigade. So please keep the EX sets coming. No complaints from me. So 4 Kazus. Start of your main phase, if you have a Cyborg or Machine in play, you gain a memory. So this is like... it's like Cody was for yellow Digimon. This is for cyborgs. Fantastic. Like I said, all the D-Brigades are cyborgs. The only lack of synergy with this is with Chikurimon. So if you have no choice but to put a Chikurimon in Raising and promoting him, you will not gain the memory from Kazu. But other than that corner case scenario, the card's fantastic. Also, alterns when one of your cyborgs or machines becomes suspended, not attacks. Keep that in mind. When it becomes suspended, I can suspend him to draw 1 and trash 1. So if a Grandis player taps down your guy, suspend him, draw this card. So you get to draw first, by the way. So draw, see if it's worth it, and whatever is the worst card in your hand, just pitch it. This guy's fantastic. Just having more Tamers that can lead me to my Grumblemon, lets me dig into Grumblemon, is fantastic. And last card of the deck, 2 Izzies. Mario wasn't a big fan of Izzy. You know, agree to disagree. I respect his opinion. But I really like having a memory setter, and the black tie isn't really worth it in this deck. And honestly, sometimes being able to manipulate the top of your deck feels really good. Being able to set up the next card you draw, and making sure you have something to hit off of your Commandramon or your Pride Memory Boost, or, you know, say the top 3 cards are like Pride Memory Boost and then a Digimon, or in a Digimon and something else. It's like, alright, cool. I know I'm going to draw the Pride next, and I know what I'm pitching, at least 2 things or whatever. I think it's good information, and personally, I'm a coward. I need to have my memory setter. I don't think I could work without a memory setter. The second one isn't as powerful as the first one. First one's just to get the ball rolling, and honestly, making himself a 3 cost, because every card in this deck is black. Even Dexmon's purple and black, which is awesome. So being able to put them to 3 instead of 4, or if they try to get tricky with you and put you to 2 on the first turn, being able to choke them at 1 with Izzy while setting up a memory tamer feels really good. So I made space for 2 of these. In the future, if I wanted the second Sealsdramon, like I mentioned, I'd either cut 1 Kazu or 1 Darkdramon, but we'd have to see. So just a quick, that's the deck. Quick note, I'm not running Chumon, as you saw. It was kind of a calculated risk. I wanted to see how it would feel without Chumon in the deck. I honestly have no idea what spaces I would need to make for it, like maybe less Chikurimon or something. Honestly, wouldn't even know where to make space for it. But Chumon is definitely a good card. It's good against the memory boost. It's good against Dorumon. I just wanted to see how it would feel without it, and I didn't hate it. I didn't miss it too much, There weren't moments where I thought, oh man, I'm screwed because I don't have Chumon. But that's like a personal opinion. If you feel like you can make the room for 2 Chumon, feel free. Card's great. It's never going to be terrible. I didn't think I needed it for this tournament. And yeah, let's just go into a quick tournament report. So 4 rounds. Round 1 was to the Metal Garu X, who beat me and actually ended up winning the tournament. So he played great. It was a tight 3 games. I think I checked something in security that messed me up. Game 3, or my security was bad. It was one of those things. Either my security was bad or his security was great, or both. And he just was able to take it down. You know, shout out to him. He did his thing. He ended up winning, so good for him. Round 2 was against Wargreymon X. Yes, was it Wargreymon? No, I think it was Gaiomon, actually. Playing against Gaiomon X, or yeah, just Gaiomon. And I got 2-0 on that one. He just wasn't, he kind of stumbled a little bit, and I took advantage of that. I was able to be really aggressive, like the deck likes to be. And yeah, I was able to 2-0 that pretty well. Round 3 was against the D-Brigade Mirror, which was awesome. We were playing around each other the whole day, and it was like, maybe I hope we play against each other, and lo and behold, we got to. That one went to 3 games as well. The only round where I went through all 4 eggs, only round where I got a cheap Death X. So shout out to my opponent with D-Brigade. Obviously, it's a fan favorite. People really like these gun-wielding dinosaurs, so it's fantastic. And then round 4, if I'm not mistaken, round 4 was against Beelstar. That's right, it was against Beelstar. And his security just kind of betrayed him. He didn't really have any powerful things in security. I was able to be super aggressive and not get super punished for it. And yeah, that's all it was. The solid 2-0 was able to get there. And that ended me in 4th place. So obviously I lost round 1. So there was no way I couldn't win the tournament. So I couldn't get my invite off of it. But 4th place is still respectable. Super excited. I'm glad I actually got to play. I don't get to play as often anymore because the new job I had. So it's a sacrifice that I have to make. But hopefully, you know, I gotta really sit down and manage my time better, because I want to come back and stream, and I want to come back and do more deck profiles and do more things, because I love TCGs, in case you couldn't tell. Trading card games are my jam. You know, getting better with Digimon, dabbling with the My Hero card game has been pretty cool. Preparing maybe for the One Piece card game when it comes out. You know, there's a whole bunch of card games right now. Obviously, Pokemon Worlds just happened, and it's going to be in Japan next year, so everyone's hyped to start grinding for that. Got me kind of thinking about grinding it too. You know, the excitement for card games are at an all-time high right now, so I'm also kind of feeling it and really miss being out here grinding with everybody else. So hopefully I can figure out some time. And yeah, that's gonna be it for me, guys. If you enjoyed this profile, if you enjoyed D-Brigade at all, just drop a like, drop a sub, leave me a comment, tell me how well I did, tell me how bad I did, tell me how bad my decisions are, or anything. Say whatever you want. Let me know how the weather is. I don't care. Just say hi. But until then, guys, don't forget to take care of yourselves. Don't forget to love each other. Never stop gaming. See you next time.